Senator Hashmi?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next bill is HB 2305, patroned by Delegate Tyler, and this is addressing the issues with our governor schools. It's requiring our BOE to issue guidance on the governance of academic year governor schools, so it does not impact those schools that are not fully participating in the full academic year. And part of the guidance that will be included by the BOE is enhanced communication and outreach, evaluations of the admissions policies, and then clearer guidelines on the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion training. The bill requires that these guidance focus on the importance of increasing access to our governor schools for historically underserved students, and to include best practices as they've been revealed on the national level as well as in our own efforts to conduct information sessions about the school, the availability of gifted and advanced specialty education programs for our feeder public middle schools, and to strengthen the student pipeline to those middle schools, particularly in the areas of underserved and underrepresented students and their communities, and then also to conduct programs related to and evaluations of the diversity and equity issues that we find in our governor schools. And the committee did hear testimony in support of this bill. If I recall correctly, we did not have anyone speak in opposition to the bill, and the subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of 3 with 1 no and 1 abstention. I move that we report the bill.
Thank you, Senator Hashmi, but I understand that there are individuals in the chat room waiting to be heard on the bill, and so what I would...
I think we've...
Say again?
Madam Chairman.
Well, I'm responding to Senator Saslaw, who said that there were some individuals who said that they did not have an opportunity to respond. And so if...
My understanding, talking to them, was apparently when the House heard the bill...
Can you talk into the mic, Senator Saslaw?
When the House heard the bill, they did not allow any people who were opposed to the bill to speak. So I don't know whether there are people here.
I don't think that was the case on the Senate side.
On the Senate side, it was not, but they didn't. They said they didn't, hook up because they didn't think they thought our policy was the same, and that they
Senator
wouldn't be.
Saslaw, quite honestly, I don't think there's anything we can do about that at this point.
Well, I understand there's about 20 of them waiting to speak.
Well, we are
They
definitely
should
not going to hear 20
No,
people.
but they should get 3 minutes.
So we're only going to have one side speaking this morning?
Well, you already heard the other side, I assume.
Well, no, the full committee didn't hear the other side. Only the subcommittee heard the other side.
Madam Chair.
I'm having to recognize voices.
Madam Chair, this is Peterson.
Senator Peterson.
This is a huge issue in our community, and I'll make a couple points, and I think I'm going to sort of presume to speak on behalf of people that don't have a chance to speak. Thomas Jefferson High School has existed since 1985 in Fairfax County. It's been the #1 high school in the United States. It's an extraordinary high school. Its population is 80% minority. To put that in perspective, about half of the school-age population in Fairfax County is white.
Senator Peterson, for people who look like me, I would appreciate it if you would put a better definition to minority, because I know you're not talking about people who look like me, so could you please be more specific?
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
The population is about 70% Asian
Thank
at
you.
Thomas Jefferson High School. People look like my kids.
Right.
My kids. And that is not based on any intentional policy that I'm aware of. It's just those are the kids that, for whatever reason, have qualified under the criteria that they've had, and that's become an issue in the community. Now, a lot of these children are immigrants, children of immigrants, and have focused on their academics, and they've done well. I am very concerned about passing policies which, for lack of a better word, I hear the word shaming a lot, that people that have been successful as immigrants are somehow overrepresented or overserved. I don't believe that's the case. So I have a lot of issues with this legislation. Now, I understand as well as anybody that we need to get different populations into our governor's schools, and I think there are ways to do it. I'm very concerned, though, the tone that has been set by this bill, and I'm not blaming anybody in particular. It's become a lightning rod, and it's been serving to stigmatize a very hardworking community in Fairfax County, which I'm proud to represent and be married into, and that's the Korean community, the Indian community, Bengali community, and so I have a lot of concerns, and I hope I have spoken, and I hope I've not left anybody out, but that's why I'm speaking. This is a big issue.
Thank you, Senator Peterson. Now I see names in the queue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I participated in the work group every Friday for several weeks that listened to various constituencies dealing with the governor's schools, not just TJ, but every governor's school in this Commonwealth, listening to various people talk about the lack of diversity in these governor's schools. And it's not just the Asian community. We listen to students talk about their experiences in these schools or the lack thereof. And the issue at TJ actually came from students about the lack of diversity in their schools and that they would like to have more diversity, but that there were problems in trying to get to that diversity and that they want more. And that's what we kept hearing over and over and over again. But there's always this stonewalling, and we're hearing it here this morning from some of our own members sitting here. And that's what I'm concerned about.
Senator Hashmi, I think I'm coming to you next, but I sat with Senator Locke along with a host of other folks from all across the Commonwealth in those Friday meetings every Friday it seems like to me all through the summer and all through the fall. And I just can't reiterate more than what she's already stated. How often we heard from students who were looking to see other students who are not like themselves in these governor schools. With that, Senator Hashmi and then Senator Howell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too was part of the work group, and as an Asian American, I listened closely to the debate and certainly heard from many families. Most of the families that I heard from were from the Northern Virginia area who are not my constituents. When I take a look at my constituents, primarily coming from Richmond City, from Chesterfield, I've had an outpouring of support from my constituents who are Maggie Walker Governor Schools alumni, and they are hugely supportive of the bill. In fact, I received only 3 emails in opposition to it, but countless emails in support of this measure. And they spoke passionately about the need for diversity, the need to expand our student population, and particularly the concerns that we have from our feeder schools. When we talk about a merit-based system, we understand that the inequity that is set up from early elementary school all the way through middle school prevents the students who would bring great diversity, great promise, and offer much to enhance our governor schools. They are excluded by the educational system, the educational inequities that we have in place. I find it personally offensive when people make the argument that increasing diversity is somehow going to lower the academic standards. Yes. That is simply not the case, and it is offensive to make that argument. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Howell and then Senator Saslaw. We hear it all the time. We didn't say he said it, Senator Sutherland.
If I
This
could
is a-
respond, who said that?
excuse-
That was in the emails that I received from a few folks who, and particularly from parents who made that argument regarding Thomas Jefferson. I did not say that committee members made that statement. My apologies if that was the implication that you received, Senator.
No, I think what Senator Sutherland may have heard is a statement that Senator Locke made in that some of our own members are being the stonewalls that's keeping us from making the progress that we so desperately need.
I'll be happy to speak to that.
Could I please hear from the others in the queue, and I'll come back to you. Senator Howell, Saslow, and Donovan.
I was not on the committee that studied this for months and months, but it impacts my constituents quite a bit. And I think it is ludicrous that we have fewer than 20 African American and Latino students admitted to TJ. That's ludicrous from Fairfax County. It's insulting, I think, to people's intelligence if they would believe that. So I'm very supportive of this bill. And this has been a festering wound at our governor's school for many years, and it's time we lance it.
Senator Saslow, then Senator Donovan.
Okay. Madam Chairman, I don't think I'm the only one in this room, but I can tell you my emails ran almost 20 or 30 to 1 against what we're proposing to do here, overwhelmingly against it. And let me give you an idea of the percentage breakdown of the 4 or 5 municipalities that feed the school versus the breakdown that's in it. The Asian and the areas that feed it, jurisdictions, are Arlington, Fairfax County, Fairfax City, Prince William County, Manassas Park, and Loudoun County. They are approximately 61% Caucasian. The Caucasians in that school are 19%. The Asian community is about 16%. They are 70% of the school. The rest would be Latino and African American, and they would be the remaining percentages. And many of these are parents, a large percentage, who came here as immigrants and have done everything they can to improve their situation. And they consider this bill highly offensive.
Senator Saslow, I noticed that you lumped Latinos and African Americans together. But anyway.
No, I think I said minorities.
No, you specifically said.
There. Okay.
No, it was right up on the screen. I was reading as you were
Well,
speaking.
there are only two other.
I was reading as you were speaking. Senator Donovan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The subcommittee recommended reporting, and I move to report the bill.
It's been moved and second that the bill be reported.
I have a substitute motion.
Substitute motion.
Is to pass by indefinitely.
Second.
You've heard the substitute motion to pass by indefinitely. All in favor of that motion, please respond electronically. No.
Vote no, Edwards.
Ayes 9, no 6.
Ayes 9, no 6. The bill does not report. Thank you for standing by, Delegate Tyler. Senator Hashmi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We'll overcome one day.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I don't know either.
The next bill is